Hello, beautiful artists. I'm Kelly Hernig, and welcome to my 100-Day Project. On Mondays and Thursdays, we'll be exploring 3 colors, then paint a subject to see what magic they create. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's go paint. For my color combination today, it's all about Naples yellow. I have it on my palette, but I don't use it that often because I don't know how to mix with it. So I'm using Daniel Smith Naples Yellow, Daniel Smith Roasted French Ochre. Doesn't that just sound like a lovely color? And then I'm using Holbein Davies Gray. If you watched the lesson previous, you know that I love Davies Gray. So I want to see what it and Naples Yellow will do, and then I want to look at Naples Yellow and French Roasted French Ochre to see what that would do also. And this is my specimen for the day. And again, I'm going to need you to remind me about that hole so I don't forget it. I've got it drawn right like this. So let's get started with our colors. It's all about Naples Yellow, so we're going to start there. I've got Davies Gray here. I have Naples Yellow here. And I have Roasted French Ochre here. So I'm going to start with Davies, I think, and then merge into the Naples. Remember, Davies Gray is a little harder. It's like a firmer color. It takes a lot to get some out. And from what I remember, French Ochre is the same way. Okay, that looks good. You can see I've got a little too much water there. That's better. Okay, I'm going to slowly add the Naples Yellow. Naples Yellow is a thicker color, and I'm hoping it will mix a pretty green because yellow and this blue should mix a green. I already love Davies Gray, so let's just see what happens with this. It's already turning really pretty. I need more water. I don't know if you can see this shift. Look how pretty already. I'm glad I'm trying Naples. If you have a yellow, I know I've gotten a lot of comments that you don't have these exact colors. So here's what I would say to you. Try to find something similar. So maybe you have a blue-green. Maybe you have a different kind of yellow. Maybe you have like a maroonish color. That's all we're trying. We're just trying to establish what some different colors will do that we maybe don't always try. You know, I get in a rut sometimes that I just use the same colors over and over because I know what they will do. This is really expanding my palette quite a bit. And that was one of the reasons why I did it. Because I have all these colors, but if you don't know how to use them, you're not going to use them. So I wanted to try to play with them and see what they would do with one another. Okay, I think one more here. I'm really liking this color a lot. It's a very pale green. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush and go to Naples Yellow Full Strength. And you see the strength of that. Just look at these greens. Loving that. I like a softer color palette, and these are making me just a little woozy, like, woo, those are exciting. So now I'm going to add this roasted French ochre, and I bought it because of the name. I thought it sounded really quite delicious. So let's see what happens with this. From what I remember, it's kind of a stubborn color. Remember, I'm trying to watch my puddle change just a little bit. That looks good. I want to add, but not a lot. So I'm being very careful, cautious. This is pretty. Think of a sunset or sunrise color. Now here's the exciting part. I was hoping I would get kind of a salmon-y color that's a little more on the red side. Do you see that color? I like that a lot. So I'm going to keep adding quite a bit of dark in here. I need a little more water. Again, both of these colors are kind of thick, so I want to make sure that I have enough water in there to mix. And you guys know I've forgotten to wet these. Splash. We'll see if I can lift some up here. Wow, that's a pretty color. Now because this was dry and I splashed water, you can see these were wet, so they're kind of moving away from the water like that. But because these are dry, now I'm testing the liftability. So I'm just going to take a paper towel, press down. Oh yeah, see how we lifted the colors? So let's see if we can do that here with this yellow. Let it sit a minute. Splash some color water on this. All right, let's see if we lift those. Oh yeah, this is a good thing for me. So why I like to test the liftability is if I've forgotten to add a highlight or a lighter value, I can always go in and lift. And that's what lifting these spots does for me. Plus I just like it. It seems a little messier. Okay, I'm going to use French ochre by itself. Again, this is a really thick color. I don't know if you can see that, but do you see how thick that was? There we go. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about this color range. So let me splash this last one down here. There we go. And let me bring it up to you. So Davy's Gray to Naples Yellow. Just look at all those cool colors. And then Naples Yellow to Roasted French Ochre. This is a really nice palette. Now I want you to think about even doing a color wheel with these three, because you've got your yellow, you've got a red, and you've kind of got a blue. So that's why these two together would make an orange, as you're seeing. These two together are making greens, as you see in here. So I would imagine Davy's Gray and the Roasted French Ochre would make some kind of violet. We will find out when we go to this leaf for sure. I'm going to my round brush now, and because it is Naples yellow that I want to explore, I'm going to start with Naples yellow here. Thank you for reminding me to watch that hole. Also, look, the yellow isn't really letting anything come into it without me really pushing it. Do you see that? That's an interesting trait about some of the colors. Some really allow mixing and some are just stingy about it. And Naples yellow seems to be stingy. Okay, I'm going into the Davies Gray. Let's see what that color does. Remember, Davies dries really quick, so I got to make sure that I get it down and then put some water into it. I want to see what these two colors do together. So while this side is wet, let's add some of that color. Another color that isn't letting anything else in. I've got two selfish colors here. Mixing Davy and the yellow. I like the greens that make it such a soft color. Got a lot of water up here. I'm trying to disperse it a little better. There we go. It feels like fall to me, doesn't it? I'm gonna try to get a little brighter orange down here. Okay, I'm gonna mix Davy and French ochre and let's see what kind of color we get here. It just really mutes it down. It's a beautiful color. This is a good stem color. I'm gonna go into Naples in the corner here. I want to add just some touches of the Davies Gray in there, just to see if we can get some nice darks. I like that hole. None of these are really granulating colors. So if you wanted to have some granulation or some texture, you could always just throw down regular table salt, especially when it's wet. So see how wet it is right now, where it's got a shine, but it's not soaking wet. That would be the perfect time to add it. If it's really, really wet, it doesn't do anything. But as this drier texture here, it's gonna work really great. So let me add a little bit of salt just so that we can do something different here. Just plain table salt. When you use table salt, you want to make sure that it's damp but not soaking, because what the salt's going to do is absorb the color. So it's going to take the color from around and kind of absorb it like this. And then when you lift the salt piece, it's going to be white underneath it. And I'm hoping I didn't wait too long. We will have to see. Now the thing with salt too is I like to let it dry naturally. I don't like to blow dry it. And it's going to take probably about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't have that much left to do. But if your salt is still wet and you go to remove it with your finger, you can smear it. So always be on the area of caution. Leave more time than less time. I will see you when this is dry. It is dry now, and I ran out of patience. So I had to blow dry it really quick. But the texture is there, and I'm going to bring you up closer to see it. When you are rubbing the salt, I rub it with a flat finger like this, not the tip of my finger, because if you have nails, you can gouge your paper. So always be aware to kind of rub it flat. But I want you to see the lovely texture. Look at the colors that it made. I love this combination. I'm going to do a color wheel with this. This is so pretty. But now, can you see all these little speckles? See the little like white speckles in there? That is all from the salt. So that is where the salt lifted the color into the salt part and left it white on the paper. I think the whole looks really nice. I really, really like the way that the Davies gray here is pooled. I like it with touching into the yellow like that. I really like it surrounded by this roasted ochre, French ochre, and then a little tip where it mixed with the yellow really beautifully. I really, really like this. I think this color to me feels like it could paint landscapes, but it feels very fall. And fall is my favorite time of year. So I think that's why I'm drawn to it. And you can tell I like it, right? You just can't help but hear the smile in my voice and know that this just makes me happy. When I'm mixing colors like this and it gets me excited, I know that I will come back to it time and time again to try and see what else it will do. You know, like I said, I'm anxious to try a color wheel now. I know these two now will not make a violet. That means that I could introduce a purple or something like that. And which reminds me, I might just add this Artemis here. Remember, I worked with Artemis. So it would be interesting to see what the Artemis and this roasted French ochre did, because we saw what it did with the Davies gray. So that might be a nice addition to this. But I really, really love this. Please leave a comment below, because I would love to hear your thoughts on it as well. So the colors once again were Holbein Davies gray, Daniel Smith Naples yellow, and Daniel Smith roasted French ochre. All the links are down below in case you want to get them for yourself. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me while I create my 100 Days project.